Hello, amazing students. Today we're going to explore some examples of average speed. Our goal is to solve problems and explore examples of average speed. There is an accompanying template to work with this activity that you can use in order to make a flippable or a foldable. Let's get started with one example. A quarterback throws a football 40 yards in 4 seconds. So that's 40 yards in 4 seconds. What is the average speed of the football? Now, to solve this problem, we need to know what average speed is equal to. And we remember the formula, and always start with writing the formula. So we have our average speed equals our distance divided by time. So in this case, our average speed was 40 yards in 4 seconds. And it's important to know which one's the distance and which one's the time. So hopefully you know seconds, minutes, hours, that's time. And yards, meters, miles, kilometers, those are all distance. So 40 yards in 4 seconds. And you're going to divide all of the words that you can, just like in algebra, as well as the numbers. Now, yards divided by seconds cannot be divided, so we get yards per second. 40 divided by 4, so 40 divided by 4 equals 10. And yards divided by seconds is yards divided by seconds. So that would be yards per second. Let me give you a nicer typed out version so you can read it a little bit better. So we have, in this case, again, our average speed is our distance divided by time, which is 40 yards divided by 4 seconds. That gives us an average speed of 40 divided by 4, which is 10 yards per second. So make sure you pause the video and write this down if you need the extra time, and we'll look at another example. So let's look at another scenario. We have an airplane. A plane flies from Houston to New York City in 4 hours. So anytime we see minutes, seconds, hours, that would be time. The distance it traveled, so hopefully that's obvious that it's distance, was 1,624 miles. What is the average speed of the plane? So in this problem, we can identify our distance is 1,627 miles, and it's important we also have the miles, and 4 hours is our time. So we're dealing with an average speed is distance over time. And in this case, it is 1,627 miles in 4 hours. And we have miles per hour. And then we have 1,627 divided by 4. Now when you solve this, you get 4, and of course that's 16. I guess I'll show my work, even though hopefully you can do a lot of this on your own. Of course, minus 0. We probably don't need to do that. Hopefully everybody doesn't. 27 would give you 6. which gives you 24 and a remainder of 3, which of course is 3/4. So 406 and 3/4, or we're going to use decimals here, 406.75. And then we need to keep our miles per hour. Let me again type this out for you so it's much more fancy. So again, we have our average speed is our distance divided by our time. In this case, it's 1,627 miles is our distance in 4 hours. And that gives us an average speed of 406 and 75/100 miles per hour. Please pause the video if you need extra time to take notes. And now let's look at some visual representations to solve. So, what's the average speed of a runner at 4 seconds? Well, that means we need to look at our graph and look at 4 seconds. Sorry about some of the blur. So we have at 0 seconds, for example, the distance is 0, the time is 0. And at 2 seconds, we can see that it was 20 meters. These are meters. In 2 seconds. So at 4 seconds, we can see here, we have 4 seconds. We can see that right here, the distance, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, is 40 meters in 4 seconds by the graph. So our average speed is 40 meters in 4 seconds. We need to put these into units because it's the average speed, so it's going to be per second in this case. So let's look at our distance over time. Here it is again at 40 meters in 4 seconds. So distance over time equals, I'm sorry about that D, 40 meters in 4 seconds. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Meters divided by seconds is meters per divided by seconds. Let me again type this up fancier for you so you can read it better. So we have an average speed of 40 meters in 4 seconds, and that gives us 10 meters per second. Make sure you write out all of these steps in your notes because this way you can plug in any numbers or units to the formula, and this is a great template to help you when you have a test and have to solve these problems for yourself. Let's look at what if we don't have a graph that's a straight line like this. Can we still solve it? Let's see. What's the average speed of the boat between 4 and 6 minutes? So now we're going to look at a range between 4. So we're not starting at 0. We're looking at between 4 and 6 minutes. So we're going to have to do some subtraction here. We need to look at, okay, between 4 and 6, how many units of time is that? Well, between 4 seconds and 6 seconds, subtract 6 and 4, we get 2 seconds. So that's the change in time. Now we need the change in distance. So between, we're starting at 500, we're ending at 1,000. So that would be 1,000 minus 500 meters. Right on the shark. And that's going to give you 500 meters, because 1,000 minus 500 is 500. 6 minus 4 equals 2 seconds. So now we have the total distance over the total time. Now we have a problem that we can divide. We have 500 meters in 2 seconds, which is, of course, 500 divided by 2. Half of 500 is 250 meters per second. Let me make that nicer for you. So now I've typed this up nicely. Okay, so we have an average speed is your total distance divided by your total time. And again, we're starting at 4 and ending at 6, which is 2 seconds different. 6 minus 4 is 2. And we have a distance of 500 meters and 1,000 meters, which gives us 500 meters divided by 2 seconds, or 250 meters per second. Let me make that a little bit nicer. There we go. So 250 meters per second. Hopefully this helps you in solving some problems. Again, make sure you're writing down all of these steps in all of these different scenarios, because it is important that you can plug in different numbers for different scenarios. So this practice will help you when you have to solve these problems on your own for average speed. So in your notes, I've color coordinated some of it. Your top page would look like this, and your handwritten page would have the sample problems. We have our average speed, distance over time, and all of our examples. Highlighting the actual yards, miles, meters will be helpful as well. So go ahead and pause the video and make sure your notes look similar to mine. In today's video, we looked at average speed sample problems. I hope that you found these problems helpful so that you are ready to solve your own problems involving average speed. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye.